how you doing, my friend? Now, have you ever had a conversation with somebody who is purely in their ego in that moment and you can't get a word in sideways? You can't be heard, your ideas, well, you can't get them across, and you also can't connect with the human being opposite you. Now, that could be a leader, manager, peer, prospect, customer, shareholder, investor, partner. You get my drift. It could be absolutely anybody in a business context. But what do you do? How do you actually communicate for trust in a way with that person that builds a relationship and doesn't fracture it? Well, in today's podcast episode, I'm going to teach you one phrase that I use to build rapport and build trust with people just like this. So, hey, without further wait, let's get into it. Now, it's funny. I was in a conversation in my personal life with somebody just like this yesterday. And I'm going to protect their identity. So let's call them Jamie. Now, I'm hanging out with Jamie. We're talking, we're laughing about a very trivial topic. And it was very clear that they had a very specific perspective on this. But what was interesting was that they weren't willing to change their mind. It was clear that they were holding on to their perspective with a death grip and that they weren't willing to listen to anybody else's around this topic in question. And when I tried to give my thoughts, I was either interrupted or I just didn't feel heard. So in that moment, very brief moment, I felt misunderstood. So I paused. I thought, okay, we could switch the conversation, but that's the easy way out. How do we lean into this? How do we lean into this in a way which creates a meaningful outcome? So once again, I paused. And I simply tried to understand this person's truth by asking more questions, by digging deeper, once again, to purely understand the lens through which they view the world and their truth on this topic. And then that person said something which took me back. And in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, wow, I've never actually thought about it that way. But for a split second, my ego was like, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that because they're not listening to you. Why should you give them the courtesy of actually listening to them? And I overrode that. I was like, nope, can't show up like that. And I said to them, wow, I've actually never thought about it that way before. And they paused. And you could see the energy in the conversation just started to shift. And that paved the way for a more open dialogue. And when I was able to share my perspective, they went, actually, you're right. I see that. Yeah, you're actually right about that. I hear you. And I was like, whoa, I've never heard this from Jamie before. And just like that, the relationship actually gained some depth. By the way, my daughter's with me in the studio today, and she's waving at me with chocolate fingers. So to keep her quiet, I thought, let me give her a chocolate biscuit, but now she's got chocolate all over her fingers. So you're probably going to see her. So I was like, use the tissue. There you go. You can wipe it. We're not even going to edit this, We're going to keep it free flowing. We're not even going to edit this. Do you want to say hello to everyone? Do you want to wave? Yeah, they can't. They can't see you. Why don't you come here and wave? Show them your chocolate fingers. If you're watching this, people, you're about to see. No, come over here. Look, come over here. Yeah, you're getting shy now. She's getting shy now. We may even have to cut this podcast episode short. Oh, there you go. Do you want to use the tissue? Yes. So what happened was, you can hear it in the background, but what happened was the depth in that relationship actually went about an inch deeper. And I thought, how cool is that? A simple phrase used in a genuine manner. Because if I didn't mean that, one second, Zara, if I didn't mean that phrase, then I would be out of integrity with myself. And that wouldn't be pure energy. So we don't want that. but I was in integrity with myself. I said something in a genuine manner, and hey, the conversation began flowing, and both people left that conversation feeling heard. Feeling heard. So hey, try that in your next conversation. Wow. I've never heard it. I've never thought about it that way before. You can hear my daughter once again. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing this again. Yeah, 1 minute, Zar. I'm just finishing up. I'm about to tell everybody where to buy my audiobook. Yeah, so you can click that. There you go. So, back to the show. If you love the idea of different phrases you can use in frameworks to make somebody else feel heard and understood, then you're going to love, my friend, my book, Relationship Currency, which came out on the 4th of November and just last week came out on Audible. And yep, I narrated it. I narrated the bad boy, and I'm deeply proud of this body of work. So hey, if you'd love to buy a copy, then head to the link in the description, click that link, and I'll see you on the other side. Same time, same place next week for another episode. I will see you, and probably without my daughter and without her waving at the camera with chocolate fingers. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Peace.